What's up guys, welcome back to the Millie Rod channel. As many of you guys know, today is National Coming Out Day. For the ones that don't know what National Coming Out Day is, basically for people that are part of the gay community that they tell either their parents, their friends, their neighbors, people at work, whatever, they tell them that they're part of the gay community. So National Coming Out Day is basically to embrace the fact that people in part of the LGBT community came out. So I wanted to share my coming out story. I wanted to make a video so people could know what I went through when I was coming out. It was not an easy process. I guess I could call it a process. It was very difficult and finding my way to love myself. I'm gonna start off when I was like really young. When I was young, I had a feeling that I was very different from a lot of girls. You get me? I was very different in the way of basically like not finding boys attractive. When girls would be like, oh my god, he's so cute and this and that. This was in elementary, like girls were like, oh my god, he's so cute. Like I have a crush on this boy and this and that, da, da, da. But with me, I was just like, I never saw like an attraction for boys, I always had a crush on the girls that I would hang out with and stuff like that. But of course I never told them because like it was something that I didn't want to bring up. I was young and I felt like I was gonna lose friends because of that. In kindergarten, I was in a field trip and there was this girl that sat next to me and basically like she kissed me, but she kind of like was hiding from everyone else. We were on a bus. I still remember this. We were on a school bus. We're going on a field trip and she basically got her like lunch bag and she covered herself to kiss me. And I was like, what the fuck? Like this is so weird. In elementary, I did like there was this boy that I did like. Everybody liked him. I'm not gonna say his name because probably people will remember him. There's this guy that I really liked. And I joined the football team because of him. Me and this other girl were in the football team. It was so freaking hilarious. I joined the football team because the coach was like, dude, like you know how to throw. The only reason I knew how to throw was because of my cousin Tony. Tony was in the football team when he was in high school, so we would help him practice. And so during that practice, he would show me how to throw a football. And dude, like I could throw a football like from here to I don't know where, but probably not anymore, because I haven't touched balls in a while. Anyway, so yeah, I had an attraction for this boy. He was probably the second boy that I found like very attractive, but all the girls liked him, and for me, I was just like, fuck it, like I want to be really close to him. I mean, I thought he was cute, but nothing ever happened. I was just very close friends with him. All the girls knew that I was very close to him, so they were like, what? But yeah, it was difficult, I had friends who didn't know that I was part of the gay community in elementary. Then there was this boy in my building where I lived when I was very young. I found him attractive and I could tell that he liked me too, but the funny thing is that we both ended up gay. So yeah, that happened in elementary. It was very chill vibes. Was very much hiding myself still. I didn't really like share how I was feeling towards girls yet. Middle school, I did go to John Lathy for a year. Middle school was very tough. That year was tough because there was this particular girl that I liked, and unfortunately someone did tell her that I liked her, and literally she stopped talking to me. Like she was disgusted, and I was like, what the fuck? I was in 6th grade, I was young, and like for me to tell someone, hey, like I really like this person, and for the person to tell them, I was pretty hurt, From that day, I was so scared to even tell anybody that I liked them, because of that situation. So I was so aware of like, okay, I can't tell nobody that I'm gay because then this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna start losing friends, Yeah, so I was at John Lathy for a year, and then my mom moved me because I was living closer to Barrendo. So I went to Barrendo after that. When I was in Barrendo, that's when like I was starting to like finally realize, I was like, okay, like I'm really interested in girls. Like I don't find any guy attractive. There was times where I had to lie to people that I had a fucking boyfriend. I even forced a guy to fucking go out with me because I was like, dude, like I don't want anyone to find out that I like girls, And it sucked because I was so fucking scared, I was new to the school. Everybody already knew everyone. Yeah, I went out with this guy and I felt bad. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. And then I ended up telling him like the truth. I was like, dude, I was just using you, because I felt like I was gonna lose friends, and I was so fucking scared, and it sucked that I had that mentality, but that's the honest reason, And then I started liking this girl. I really liked her, and unfortunately she did have a boyfriend, but I could tell that she was attracted to me and I was attracted to her. She kissed me as well, and I was like shocked because she was still with her boyfriend. I'm not gonna mention who it is, but yeah, like shit like that. I was like, damn, like I still had to kind of like hide myself of who I was. And then there was times where, with my friends, when I would hang out with my friends, they'd be like, oh, like you're so sweet, like why can't you be a guy in order for me to date you? And I was like, It sucked because like a lot of girls would say that, and I was like, what the fuck, you know, like it sucked. And I was like really rethinking like, what the hell, is this normal? Like, is it okay for me to be gay? Like, well, I didn't even know what gay meant either in middle school. I was still trying to figure out myself, you know. So yeah, that's how middle school went. People already knew that I was just very different from the other girls. I was starting to dress more masculine. I would hang out around a lot of guys. I had an attraction to a lot of girls, but you know, I never got the chance to tell anyone that I liked them or I thought they were really good looking, because like, once again, I was just afraid of losing friends. I stayed to myself about those things. Once I got to high school, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, like I think I could be myself in this school. Plus it was an art school, so you didn't really have a lot of people that were gonna bully you. Like a lot of people there were fucking gay, so it was very chill. Like I was able to be myself. I got to dress however I wanted and shit. I never really told a person that I liked them. My first girlfriend, actually, she told her friend to tell me that she had a crush on me. I didn't even know about the girl, you know. And then when I met her, like we talked and stuff, and I kind of grew to liking her. Basically, that was basically my first girlfriend ever. Through all that, I still had to find a way to come out to my parents, because I already knew. I was like, fuck, like I can't be going out with a person and like people seeing that I'm kissing this person, or if I'm out in the street with a person and shit like that. I have to tell my parents, you know. I think around the age of 14 or 15, I was gonna tell my mom. I was like, damn, I already have a girlfriend, like I want to tell her, you know. There's a conversation that came up. I think it was because of my cousin. I think we were talking about my cousin, which you guys probably know her, Gabby. Gabby is also part of the gay community. I was like, how would you feel if one of your kids came out gay? And she was like, I'd rather have my daughter be a whore than be gay. And then from there, I was just like, holy shit, like I can't tell her right now. You know, the fact that she said these words were very fucking hurtful. Like you guys have no fucking idea how hard it was to hear those words coming out from my mom. I just stayed quiet, you know. And when that happened, I was like, okay, I gotta get out of here. I went to my after school program. You know, it was chill. I didn't tell nobody like what happened between me and my mom when she said that. And you know, I was still dating the girl. Shit was going down. Things were not going good between me and the girl. You know, I knew she was cheating on me a lot. I was hurt, you know. I was hurt. I was going through a lot. I would cry my ass off at night. I felt fucking terrible. And I never told my mom. She would see that I was really sad like at times, and she was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, no, nothing. By the age of 16, that's when I told her. I was like, Mom, I know we were talking about Gabby again. I was like, Mom, do you think that God doesn't like Gabby? And you know, I brought up the whole religion thing because mom was very religious, and she was like, no, like God loves everyone, like why are you asking? And then that's when I cried. Like I cried my ass off, you know. I was just looking at her and she's like, why are you crying? Like what's going on? And then I told her, I was like, Mom, like I'm gay as well, you know. And I was just crying, and she was like, oh, well, why are you fucking crying, you know, like don't cry. And then after that, I left the house. I was like, I can't be in here. I was crying. I went crying to Ola. Some people know it's an after school program that I went to. That's where I felt safe. I had told my best friend at the time, Jenny, shout out Jenny. I had to tell Jenny, you know, and I was scared to tell Jenny because I felt like she was just not gonna be my friend anymore. I was scared because I saw the path of how people were just not being my friend after I told them that I was part of the gay community. I didn't want them to think just because I was gay that I liked them, you know, and I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable. And so when I told her, you know, she was just chill about it. Like she didn't care. She was just like, dude, I'm still gonna be here for you, which I appreciated a lot, because that's like through the time when like I was going through it, you know, like I didn't tell nobody like all the hurt that I was going through and shit. Things with my mom were already hard, you know. As you guys know, like both my parents weren't together, so my mom wasn't really in the picture. So I would basically take care of myself. I would never be at home. Like I'd stay out until like 10 p.m, get home, and boom, get out the house really early, go to school, and then after school I would go straight to my program because I didn't want to be home. I was never comfortable being home. I was never close to my mom as I am today, as well as with my dad. I was never close to my dad. I never felt comfortable being around both of them because through all the shit that, you know, I went through, and I didn't feel much support from them. So yeah, the relationship that I had between my parents, like it was always hard. I never had a connection with them. It's sad to say it, but like I just felt so disconnected from them. I saw them more as like friends, you get me? I never saw them as parents, and it sucked because I had to grow up so damn fast. I never really rekindled my relationship with them when I was young. Shit was tough in the beginning. My mom was not accepting, you know. when I came out to her, she would be like, oh, like, I don't want you to have kids. You know, I don't want you to have kids. I don't want you to bring in kids and letting them learn about you being gay. I don't want them to know that. And I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, all right, whatever. She would always say, I'm not going to be going to your wedding as well. You know, I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to see nothing like that. And she would be like, well, if you ever get a partner, I don't want that around me. I don't want no gay shit around me. And I was like, damn, for real? And that was around when I was 16, y'all. Like, I was 16, man. I was just like, what the fuck, you know? Like, I was lost. Mind you, like, I just had gotten out of a fucking breakup, you know, from my first fucking love. And to have my mom not be accepting was very hard. She already knew I was sad. And for her to dump that on me was even fucking worse. I felt like shit, and it's crazy because I never showed it in school. I would always carry a fucking smile, and people knew that shit. Like, I was never upset, you know. I would always hide it, and I don't think people ever noticed that. When I was in high school, I was just myself, you know. After that breakup, that's when I started to date a lot of people. I didn't care. Like, I was hurt. I was like, man, I'm gonna be with this person, with that person, with this person, with that person. I was dating, like, I was talking to a lot of people. I didn't care at the moment. Once I got into college, that's when I fully accepted myself. I was like, okay, like, now that I know more about the queer community, because college helped me a lot. I didn't know anything. Like, I didn't even know about pronouns when I got there. I was like, what the fuck are these, you know? What are pronouns, you know? I didn't know a lot about the queer community, you know? I just knew I was fucking gay. When I got to CSUN, that's when I learned so fucking much. And for that, like, I'm appreciative of being in college, for learning all this knowledge that I didn't know. And then my mom immediately, like, every fucking year, she'd be like, have you told your dad? Have you told your dad? Have you told your dad? I'm like, bro, I was like, dude, it's not an easy thing to fucking say, you know? Once I got to college, I immediately cut off my hair. The first day, literally the first day of school, I went in with long ass hair, and the second day when I got there, I cut off my hair. So I didn't want to be serious with anyone, you know? I was still healing. I was still healing from my old relationship as well. It took me like, God damn, it took me like 4 years to get over my ex. It was a lot. And the reason why it took so long is because I kept seeing her in high school. It was fucking terrible. Before I even told my dad had seen me with short hair. He didn't know about my sexuality. He would just be like, oh, you fucking cut your hair? Like, why the fuck did you do that? You know, he was really upset when I cut my hair. My mom was mad too when I cut my hair. And then that's when the day of Pride came. I think I was turning 19, and that's when I told him. It was me, my gay aunt, and my gay cousin. We all went out to this Mexican restaurant before going to Pride. When we were there, we were chilling, we were sitting. Everyone was drunk already. Everyone was drinking. I didn't drink because I wasn't 21 yet, but my dad was pretty drunk. My gay aunt was pretty drunk, and I think my cousin was a bit drunk too. So what happened was that I think the conversation of people were blaming my aunt for me being gay, and I think she brought it up to my dad. You know, my dad didn't know about me being gay, so he was like, what the fuck? And during this time, I went to the restroom, so I don't know what the fuck was going on. When I came back from the restroom, that's when I saw my dad. He was just looking at me, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, what the heck is going on? I know Gabby was telling me, like, dude, just tell him, you know, you're here with us. And I wanted to tell him. I wanted to tell him that there and there, you know, there and then. Went to the restroom, came back, and that's when my aunt had told him. I was cool with it, you know, because it was my aunt. You know, I respect her so much, and for her to do it, like, I felt more relief. You know, because it was gonna be hard for me to even tell him. So, you know, I got back, and my dad was like, you know, was I a bad father and this and that? Was I not there for you? It was tough, you know. He started crying, and I told him, I was like, no, dude, like, you were a great father. Regardless of him not being part of my life, like, he was still trying his best to find ways to see me, which I was very grateful for. You know, he was seeing me in the weekends whenever he could. After that day, you know, things were still rocky with him. I was not close to him at all. Shit was very difficult with him because of the people that he was with at the time. They were very fucking disrespectful towards me, and he would kind of like do the same thing. He would disrespect me in front of the people he was dating as well. So yeah, I was just not really close to my father at the time as I am now. And so, you know, months passed, and he was still like, oh, like, I don't want you to bring that shit around me as well. My dad said the same thing as my mom, and I was like, what the fuck, you know, like, I need you. Like, I really needed them the most, you know. And it sucked that there was times where I couldn't even go to them when, like, I needed, like, relationship advice, or, like, when I was going through shit. I just kept it all to myself. As years went by, I honestly just didn't care. I already knew, my parents already knew that I was queer, and like I was just happy with that. So yeah, both my parents were not supportive in the beginning, and it sucked because I didn't get to bring around my partners, you know, or the people that I was talking to for a while. That's when the girl I was dating in college, my second girlfriend at the time, I was like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna bring her around. I don't care what my parents think. I had changed my demeanor. My confidence was high as hell after that. You know, I just didn't care. I was proud. I was gay and proud and did not give a fuck. And that shit was still a bit difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Usually for me, like I date outside of my race, and you guys know a lot of Latinos are very not okay about that. Then when they found out I was dating outside of my race, they were still a bit iffy. They're like, okay, first you're gay, now you're dating outside of your race. But to me, I didn't give a fuck, you know? I was happy with my partner. As the years went by, I think they started to realize how much I didn't care about what people thought. It took them a while to accept me because, you know, they came from, you know, like no one was gay. The only ones that were gay were my aunt and my cousin. But, you know, my cousin had it hard, like had it worse than me. People in our family would talk so much shit about her, and it was fucked up, which made me even like not want to come out, you know? So that's what people don't understand. It's like my cousin went through it harder, and because she went through it harder, sometimes her self-confidence isn't there. And then that's what I'm trying to fix, you know, telling her like, hey, who gives a fuck, you know, like who cares what people think about you? Just be your own self, you know, bring your partners. When you don't care, people will stop bothering you. They're like, fuck, I can't do anything because she doesn't care. With my gay aunt, you know, she is very private, which sucks. You know, she would bring her partners around, but you could tell that they were still very uncomfortable with her bringing her partner around, which is really fucked up. I'm like hoping, you know, that I get to sit down with my gay aunt and talk about her coming out story and how hard it was for her, because hers was a very hard story. It was difficult for me to come out because I knew that people in our family were not okay with, you know, with Gabby being gay and my aunt being gay. Once I knew that my parents knew, I just didn't care. And then from there on, that's when my parents were more accepting. My dynamic with my dad and mom are fucking great. Like, if you guys see, like, every time I go hang out with my dad, every time I go hang out with my mom, you know, it's like it's finally the love that I needed the whole time. But, you know, sometimes people need time, you know, to really put themselves together and be like, okay, like, I shouldn't be doing this because it's really disrespectful to my kid. I think they finally figured out the fact that, you know, if I'm happy, they should be happy for me. Dude, now, like, I'm just very grateful, you know. I'm very grateful that both of them are very accepting and they came a long way, you know, because it's not easy. There's still a lot of people that have it harder than me. That's why I say that I'm always very grateful for them. I always thank them every time I see them and how positive they are. And honestly, now all I can say is that I can't wait for my wedding with my future partner. And I'm excited to see them both there, me being able to have kids and them being okay with me having kids with my partner. It's something very, very beautiful. And because of this, like, I learned that everything has to do with patience. Me coming out, I had to be okay with coming out. I had to feel safe with coming out because I didn't just want to come out just because I didn't know where to run. In my process of coming out was very hard. You know, I felt scared because I felt like I was not gonna have friends because of how it wasn't normalized back then. I was scared that I could have probably been kicked out, you know, because what if my mom was like, no, get the fuck out of my house type of shit. And even if my dad didn't fucking accept me either, like, where was I gonna run to? Who was I gonna run to if my family wasn't accepting? I was afraid that I was not gonna end up with like a home. Through everything, you know, that I've talked about in the past other videos, you know, I was already going through a lot of shit at home, which made it even worse. So yeah, it was just very difficult, you know, to come out. All I could tell people is that coming out is not an easy thing. It sucks that people that are part of the gay community have to come out. It's so stupid because I feel like people should be accepting regardless, you know. Being able to respect people regardless of, you know, what their sexuality is very important. It's very important because there's people that take their lives for not being accepted. There's so many people that have thought about committing suicide for not being accepted. And for me to be fucking strong and keep myself together through all the violence that was happening at home, through all the shit that I was going through at school, through all the things that, you know, the fact that my parents weren't together and weren't accepting of me was very hard, but I still stayed. That's all I could say. I still stayed in this fucking earth, and I'm happy for myself and I love myself, you know. Learning to love yourself is part of you accepting that you're queer. But yes, that is my coming out story. You know, and this is a reminder that you don't have to come out. You know, you don't have to come out, but if you want to come out, but come out to the people that you feel more safe with. But yeah, if you ever have thoughts about coming out or wanting to come out and you're still afraid, you know, you're able to come to me, talk to me, you know, I'll give you tips. Sometimes people just wait, you know, people just wait until they move out or they move to college and all that stuff in order for them to come out, because that's the only way to do it at times, you know, just kind of like the way I did it. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just want to say happy National Coming Out Day. You know, like I said, coming out is not an easy process. Don't be afraid to contact the people that are very close to you, that the people that you feel safe with, or even myself. You know, you can contact me if you ever need someone to talk to. I'm here because I didn't have people to go to immediately. I had to really think about who can I go to, you know, but I'm here if you ever need help. But yeah, that's my coming out story, and I hope you guys enjoy. Please comment down below, you know, what you think about my stories. You know, I'm pretty sure you probably have gone through the similar things, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and much love. Peace.